Hello and welcome to Cricbuzz Comm Box. I'm Saiyami Kher and I have DK with me. DK 194 for 1 is what South Africa have managed in 35 overs. Quinton de Kock 94 of 101 and Van der Dussen 68 of 81. Just on the at the 15 over point, Joyda gave this mini prediction of if South Africa manage 120 runs and not lose too many wickets, they'll be good. But they've gone past what Joyda have said. So it's been a good passage of play for South Africa.
Outstanding. The beauty about South Africa so far is how they've been able to stitch partnerships. We heard our statistician come and tell us they've stitched 700-run partnerships, out of which, considering 7 is the number they've got, next best is 4. You can imagine what sort of partnerships they've had. You think of a Pakistan, you think of a England, that's where they've really struggled, putting together partnerships. And for South Africa, it's come like fish to water. They've just taken into that so beautifully, and you can see the scores, the big scores lined up. At 35 to be 194 is a very, very strong position to be in. 2 set batters, one nearing his 400 of this tournament, another requiring probably another 100 considering he got the one in the first game and hasn't got much after that. So everything looking ominous. If you're 35 overs, 194, I'll give you a prediction. I'm sure you're going to ask me, but for the moment, it looks like they're brilliant.
But, you're talking about what Quinton de Kock's done again. He started in a very un-Quinton de Kock-like fashion. He was very slow. Trent Bolt was very good in the opening overs. But then he's really, really gone for it now, 94 that he's made. And he just, this habit of if he gets 50, he needs to get 100 in the World Cup. That's what he's trying to do.
Nicely put. I think he is in real good batting form. And what I mean by good batting form is there are times you can get carried away and keep playing shots. And if he had tried that, he would have gotten out today. A, because of the good spell that Bolt. We discussed about what he is lacking probably a little bit, the rhythm, the ball coming out of his hand. And I think both of those things happened in his first spell, 5 overs for just the 12 runs. But more importantly, from a Quinton de Kock point of view, he had to, I hope I'm not debarred from Cricbuzz anymore, but he had to kind of suck it up as a batsman. And he had to just fight it through and make sure that, he doesn't do anything silly. Because on the other hand, Temba Bavuma was batting really well. And he saw through that period. And what happens when you see through those kind of periods is you get a phase of 5-10 overs where you can really launch by playing shots which are very audacious in nature, and that's what he has done. The way he's just used the pace of a Santner to hit those boundaries. He's obviously bludgeoned a few balls too. Overall, this has been the most hard-working 100 for him. It's not been an easy pitch. I think we predicted a score slightly lower in nature because of us hearing to Ricky Ponting, which might not have been the best thing to have heard before the game. But it's good to see Quinton working hard, fighting for his runs, and on his way to a 400 in 6 matches, in 7th match rather. So that is quite an effort and shows the mental stability and how much he's improved as a player.
But DK, even Van der Dussen's been very impressive because he also paced it very well, his innings. Like you said, he's got that 100 and he's chasing that now, second 100 for the World Cup.
Everybody's chasing a lot of things. And Van der Dussen is chasing his second 100. But as you said, I thought he played an inning very similar to de Kock, wasn't timing it really well, took his time, but then when he gets going, the good thing about him is he's a little awkward batsman to bowl to because he cuts across the crease, cuts the angles, but most importantly, he's tall, so he has a decent reach, and he's one of those annoying players to bowl to only because he uses lap and reverse lap a lot. And as a bowling team, you kind of it's hard to set fields in ODI cricket. At least in T20, you can straight away set a defensive field. But in ODI, you want to attack a little more. But if he keeps doing that, then you have to set a field for that. Then his singles open up, which is what has happened. But good on Rassie van der Dussen to fight through a tough day, but making sure that he is always giving strike to Quinton, who looked probably slightly more fluid when he came in. And most importantly, they've stitched another 100-run partnership.
Well, there was that one run-out chance in a very difficult catch that Glenn Phillips tried of Quinton de Kock, but wasn't to go. We'll have a look at the bowling card now because last 20 overs, things haven't really gone New Zealand's way. They started off well. Trent Bolt, those figures look very good. 7 overs, 21 wicket. But otherwise, nothing really. There was Rachin Ravindra or even Santner who usually pick up those wickets in the middle overs. Nothing's really worked for them.
No, I think their key bowler was Mitchell Santner. In these kind of pitches, he can be really good. He also has a right-hander at the crease, but still he couldn't keep he couldn't put the brakes on a couple of good South African batsmen here. What is rather glaring when I look at that is Matt Henry. I mean, him having another injury, another player having an injury in a World Cup, and most importantly, hamstring injuries can take time, and that's a worrisome part of today's proceedings in terms of, from a New Zealand's point of view. So for me, how New Zealand from here on will look to do is try and bowl those death overs with Tim Southee and Trent Bolt. Maybe Jimmy Neesham can chip in with an over or two, especially at the back end, but he has the tendency to bowl one or two good overs, but then has the potential to go for one big one, so they're wary of that as well. It's going to be very interesting in terms of how New Zealand are going to go about things, because South Africa are definitely in pole position in this game, and you would be thinking, looking at South Africa going, if they get anything less than 330, 340, they would be disappointed.
Well, you've said it, 330, 340. 310 is what the team needs at Cricbuzz Live, our English studio, because Joyda said 310, but DK says probably it's going to be
I like how you said team, because clearly our scores,
our scores have gone past.
I mean,
They've just gone
way
past.
behind the 8 ball there.
So now we play for the team. Let's wait and see if they get a 310 or they get more. They're set for a big target. Let's wait and watch. We'll catch you in the mid-match show.